Welcome to POPZARI family, where fun and magic come alive. New videos and shorts every day. Let's laugh, learn, and play. Hey!
The King's Secret Test. Everyone wanted gold, but only one man passed. Part. What if someone offered you a bag that could hold as much treasure as you wanted? Would you stop after taking just enough, or would you keep filling it until it became too heavy to carry? Most people believe they know the answer, but when the moment comes, the heart often chooses differently. Today's story is about a kind king, a magical garden, and a secret test that changed an entire kingdom forever. Stay with us, because the ending may surprise you. On a bright Saturday morning in the small town of Maplewood, Colorado, two children, Emma and Lucas, were sitting on their grandmother's cozy front porch. Grandma Rose had promised them a new story every day during summer vacation, but for the last 3 days, she had told stories about clever animals, funny farmers, and magical forests. Emma crossed her arms, puffed out her cheeks, and refused to smile. Grandma Rose looked at Emma and laughed softly. Well, someone looks grumpier than a cat that just fell into a bathtub. Lucas burst into laughter. She even made her cereal look scared this morning. Emma tried not to smile, but a tiny giggle escaped. Grandma, I don't want stories about talking chickens anymore. I want a story about a good king, one who helps people instead of bossing everyone around. Grandma winked. A good king? I think I know exactly the one. She rocked gently in her chair and began. Many years ago, in the peaceful kingdom of Greenwood Valley, there lived King Andrew. He wasn't famous because he had the biggest castle or the richest crown. People loved him because he listened. He visited schools, farms, little bakeries, and busy markets. He believed a king should know his people by their names, not just by numbers. King Andrew had a trusted advisor named Samuel. Samuel wasn't loud or proud. Instead, he was calm, thoughtful, and incredibly wise. Whenever the king faced a difficult choice, Samuel would quietly ask one simple question. The king valued those words more than any treasure in his royal vault. One sunny afternoon, the king and Samuel stood on the palace balcony overlooking the busy town square. Families laughed together, musicians played cheerful songs, children chased colorful balloons, and food trucks filled the air with the smell of fresh burgers, popcorn, and warm apple pie. King Andrew smiled. "Look at them, Samuel. Everyone seems happy." Samuel nodded but remained thoughtful. The king continued, "The stores are busy. The farms had a wonderful harvest, and no family seems to be going hungry. I think we've built a kingdom where everyone has enough." Samuel looked across the town one more time before replying. "Perhaps they do, Your Majesty." The king noticed Samuel's serious face. "You don't sound convinced." Samuel simply smiled and said, "Sometimes people have full pockets, but empty hearts." The next morning, King Andrew invited teachers, firefighters, farmers, shop owners, doctors, artists, mechanics, students, and families from every corner of Greenwood Valley to the royal hall. With a warm smile, he asked, "Tell me honestly, are you happy with your lives? Do you have everything you truly need?" One by one, people stepped forward. "My bakery is doing great. My farm has grown the best corn in years. My family is healthy. My business is successful. We feel safe." Everyone agreed they were happy and wanted nothing more. The king's smile grew wider, but Samuel quietly folded his arms. As everyone celebrated, Samuel leaned close and whispered something into the king's ear. King Andrew's eyes widened. "What?" he whispered. Samuel nodded. "It's the only way to know the truth." For a long moment, the king stood silently. Then he turned back to the crowd. "If you are truly happy," he announced, "then tomorrow I invite every one of you to my royal adventure garden. Each guest will receive an empty backpack. As you walk through the garden, you may fill it with any fruits or flowers you like before meeting me at the far gate." The crowd cheered with excitement. A visit to the king's famous garden had always been a dream. The next morning, Hundreds of smiling families entered the beautiful garden. They laughed as squirrels stole hats, rabbits hopped between flower beds, and one curious goat somehow managed to chase the town barber up a tree, making everyone laugh until their stomachs hurt. People happily filled their backpacks with juicy peaches, shiny apples, sweet strawberries, colorful roses, and delicious cherries. Everything seemed perfect, until a little girl suddenly pointed deep into the forest and shouted, "Mama, why are those trees glowing?" Everyone turned. Far beyond the ordinary fruit trees, strange golden light shimmered through the woods. Branches sparkled as if they were covered with stars. No one knew what they were looking at. But within seconds, every person in the garden forgot about the delicious fruit already in their backpacks and began running toward the mysterious glowing trees. The closer everyone got, the brighter the light became. Soon they stopped in amazement. The trees were unlike anything they had ever seen. Some had golden apples that sparkled in the sunshine. Others held silver peaches, while colorful flowers glittered with tiny diamonds, rubies, and emeralds. The entire forest looked as if a rainbow had turned into treasure. Everyone stood frozen for a moment with their mouths wide open. Then someone shouted, "Those apples must be worth millions." In an instant, the peaceful garden turned into a race. People laughed, ran, and reached for the sparkling fruit. One man climbed a tree so fast that his pants got caught on a branch. He dangled upside down while everyone tried not to laugh. A little boy giggled. "Dad, you look like a Christmas ornament." Even the birds seemed to chirp as if they were laughing. A woman quickly emptied all the fresh peaches and strawberries from her backpack. "I can buy fruit any time," she said, "but I'll never find golden apples again." Soon everyone began doing the same thing. Sweet fruit that smelled wonderful was tossed onto the ground without a second thought. Apples rolled across the grass, grapes bounced into bushes, and bright flowers were left behind. Nobody cared anymore. All they wanted was treasure. Only one young man named Daniel smiled as he picked a few fresh apples, juicy peaches, and sweet cherries. He tasted one apple and laughed, "Wow, this is the best apple I've ever eaten." He placed a few fruits into his backpack. "My little daughter Lily is gonna love these." Daniel looked at the glowing treasure trees, admired their beauty for a moment, then quietly walked away. He didn't feel the need to fill his bag with gold. The others couldn't understand him. One businessman called out, "Daniel, are you crazy? Those golden apples could make you richer than the king." Another woman laughed. "You'll regret this forever." Daniel simply smiled. "I'm already rich," he replied. The crowd laughed so hard that one man dropped 3 silver peaches on his own foot and started hopping around like a dancing flamingo. Even Daniel couldn't stop laughing. Meanwhile, King Andrew and advisor Samuel watched everything from a hidden tower overlooking the garden. The king frowned. "They told me yesterday they already had everything they needed." Samuel quietly replied, "Sometimes people don't know what's hidden inside their own hearts until temptation appears." The king looked down again. Almost everyone was stuffing their backpacks until the straps were ready to snap. Hours passed. The backpacks became heavier and heavier. People struggled to lift them. Some dragged them across the ground. Others refused to leave even one sparkling fruit behind. One man tried carrying 3 backpacks at once. He took 2 steps, lost his balance, rolled down a small hill, and landed in a pile of soft leaves. Children nearby burst into laughter, and even the palace guards had to hide their smiles. Finally, everyone reached the far end of the magical garden. King Andrew was nowhere to be seen. Instead, there was a wooden sign. It read, "Keep walking. Your final reward is just ahead." Excited again, the crowd hurried forward. "If there's more treasure," someone shouted, "I'm not leaving without it." Daniel quietly followed behind, carrying only his small backpack filled with fresh fruit. Suddenly, a loud roar! The ground shook beneath their feet. Everyone stopped. Right in front of them, a powerful river rushed across the path. The water crashed over huge rocks, sending white waves high into the air. There was no bridge, no boat, no way around. On the opposite side stood King Andrew and Samuel, waiting silently. People looked at their heavy backpacks and then at the rushing river. For the first time that day, no one smiled. The crowd stood quietly, holding their heavy bags of treasure. Some hugged them tightly, others whispered, "There has to be another way." But deep inside, everyone already knew the truth. Sometimes the hardest thing in life is not getting something, it's letting it go. Moral of story: greed can make us forget the simple blessings we already have. Real happiness doesn't come from collecting more. It comes from appreciating enough to be continued. In part B, will the people choose their treasure or their freedom?
Thank you for watching. We're so glad you're here. Like, share, subscribe, and spread the cheer. Join the POPZARI family.